everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a minute since I've posted, but I am back. Everything's good. It was just an extremely busy month. I did a lot of traveling. I had a lot of stuff I had to take care of, but I am back now and everything's good. I will say before I, disappeared for a few weeks, I was doing pretty well consistently. For about a month of every week or twice a week I was posting videos. So please know that I'm still aiming to get right back into that. This was just a little break because things get overwhelming sometimes when you have a lot of animals, traveling, all crazy stuff. It's just, there's a lot I have to do sometimes. So I don't always get to film, but we are back now. Makeup's a little darker than usual today. I'm just trying something out. I was bored with my makeup, so trying something new. If it looks awful, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can put it past you and still enjoy the video, even if I look like a mess. I can't really tell. I can't tell on that little small screen. So today's video is going to be discussing my brand new Orchid Mantis. I am super excited. I absolutely love praying mantis, and I had one a long time ago. He lived his whole life, which was about 5 to 6 months, and then he passed away. Mantis definitely do not live super long. Males do live a little shorter than females. My last mantis, Maury, was a male, so he lived his full life. He had all of his molts, and then he passed on into bug heaven. Since then, I have not gotten another mantis until now. So we are gonna discuss today everything about the Orchid Mantis and how to take care of them. Please keep in mind that this is just about the Orchid Mantis, not every kind of mantis. So you can't use this advice to go take care of a budwing mantis or a Chinese green mantis. It has to be Orchid Mantis. That's the only advice this works for. Just want to make that very clear. If you do want to get a budwing mantis, I do have a very old video out about how to take care of those. Those are definitely so much better for starters. People who've never had a mantis before, I definitely recommend the budwing mantis. Orchid mantis are a little more sensitive. They're a little more fragile. They require more care and humidity and temperature watching. They're definitely overall more skilled. Definitely not the hardest mantis in the whole world, but also not one that I would recommend for beginners. So now we're gonna talk about these guys, and hopefully I can keep it interesting. So this is her habitat right now. It's teeny tiny. It's really little. You can see the condensation on the bottom because I do keep this extremely humid. Now we're gonna of course go into how I do that and everything in just one moment. But first I'm going to show you the Orchid Mantis and tell you some general facts about them. I did ask for some name suggestions, and so many people gave me so many beautiful name ideas. And I took all of those ideas, I sat down, looked through them, and I decided I was gonna name her Egg. I've named her Egg. Don't ask me why I do these things because I don't know. But I've named her Egg, and that's gonna be her name. Sorry to everyone that recommended actually good names. But there she is. As you can see, she's extremely small. Now, these guys are called Orchid Mantis because they resemble a flower. There she is. She's doing a little wiggle. I love that little dance. Can we add some dance music to this, please? I'm gonna put her away while we talk about them because she's extremely small and I don't want to lose her or hurt her, of course. I do have other footage of her, so I'll periodically show that while I talk so I don't bore you guys to death. Orchid mantis in the wild are found in Indonesia and Malaysia. Orchid mantis come in 3 colors, pink, purple, and white. Most commonly they are white though, and they are supposed to resemble an orchid flower. Females reach a max of 3 inches, while males only get to about 1 inch, and that is it. So females are 3 times as big as the male, and they live longer. Males only go through 5 molts in their life, while females go through 7. To tell the difference of your mantis, it's probably easier after the first molt because their abdomen will be bigger, easier to see, but even from a young age, you can sex them. Basically, you look at their abdomen and you count their abdominal segments. Females have 6 abdominal segments, while males have 5. It can be really hard, like I said, at a young age to tell them apart. As they grow older, it's easier to see their abdomen. Orchid mantis are the very first species of animal ever discovered to mimic a whole flower rather than just a leaf or a stick. Now there's 2 debates as to why they look the way they do. One is so they look like a flower and then they camouflage themselves in there, wait for their prey, and then they ambush them. But there is some speculation out there that that is not the reason, only because all other mantises have no problem getting their prey and they don't look like a flower. So some people speculate why they really look like that and if it's really to ambush their prey. I personally think it definitely is just another way to be an ambush predator by camouflaging themselves, but again, there are other people out there who believe otherwise. 2 weeks after their very last molt, females are ready to mate. When they're very first born, they're actually a black color and a red color. It kind of mimics an ant. But after their first molt, their colors start to come in and they either are the white or the purple or the pink color. Males mature much quicker than females, which is why they have a shorter lifespan. Also, males develop wings and can fly, while females don't typically fly. The term nymph is what you call a baby mantis. Now, nymphs eat tiny insects, while adults will pretty much eat anything they can get their hands on, and this does include lizards and fish. Now, orchid mantids can tolerate temperatures ranging from 70 degrees all the way up to 90. But both on the low and high spectrum of this is very minimal for them. They don't want to be exposed to 70 degrees for too long or 90 degrees for too long. Their most perfect temperature is around 80 degrees. Now, glass enclosures for orchid mantids are so much better than the mesh enclosures that some other people use for other species of mantids. This is because orchid mantids love humidity, and when it comes to mesh setups, the air can escape way too easy and then it can't retain the moisture and it just becomes a very dry environment. I recommend putting a heat mat on one side of the enclosure, and this way they can decide what range of temperatures they want to go to. If they're a little too warm, they'll go over to the cool side. If they want a little more warmth, they'll go over to the warm side. Now, keep in mind that the heat mat should go on the side of the tank, not on the bottom. Their tanks should always range from anywhere from 60 to 80% humidity. Nymphs actually do better in the little lower side of the humidity, while adults do best around 80%. For nymphs, you can just spray down their cage as little as once a week. With the help of the heat mat and a closed off lid, it really should keep the water in there just fine. For a basic glass enclosure, I put tin foil over the lid so they can't get out, but they can still perch upside down on the top. A lot of people also get the cups like I have, like the little deli cups, and they normally have a lid with some mesh on it. You could definitely find these readily available online. Now, while nymphs can just be sprayed down around once a week, adults should be sprayed down about every other day. Now, it's best to only spray around the mantis and not right on them. You don't want to soak the mantis. Not only can you actually drown them from too much water, but the water also just stresses them out a lot of the time. So it's best to spray around the mantis so they can go to the water droplets and collect them if they want to, and they can just have a humid environment instead of being drenched. Now, do not put a water dish in your mantid's cage, because if they accidentally fall into it, they can easily drown. They can get all of their water from spraying down their enclosure and from the flies that you feed them. Now, some people feed mantids brown small crickets, but I actually do not recommend this. A lot of mantids can't digest crickets correctly and they end up regurgitating them and die. I recommend house flies, blue bottle flies, fruit flies, hover flies, and butterflies. Everything flies. Now, a proper enclosure for them is 3 times their height and 2 times their width. So, for example, an adult female gets about 3 inches. So a minimum enclosure size for an adult praying mantis is around 9 inches by 6 inches. The most ideal enclosure, though, is 11 by 8 by 8. You actually don't want it to be too tall, because then they might fall and injure themselves, or they may not be able to find their food appropriately. The best thing for their setup is artificial flowers and perches, or even better is an actual live vivarium. I'm actually choosing to do artificial because I am perfectly fine with cleaning up after my mantis every day. But if you don't think you can keep up with your enclosure, it's actually best to get a live vivarium. You can put springtails and isopods, which are tiny little bugs, inside of their live vivarium, and they will clean up after the mantis, and it really will help control and regulate mold from growing. Since they like such humid environments, it's extremely easy for mold to grow. So if you don't want to do a live vivarium, you have to be extremely avid in your cleaning. I personally am not going to be doing a live vivarium, but I am perfectly fine with making sure, checking in every day to make sure no mold is growing. Mold can make a mantis extremely sick, stressed, and it can lead to their death. Now, all mantids are cannibalistic, so do not put them together. The only time you should put 2 mantids together is when the female is ready to breed and the male is ready to breed. You can put them in for the breeding time, but do keep in mind that the female sometimes will eat the male. Not always, but it does happen. So basically, don't put them together unless you need baby mantids for some reason. Now, if you are going to use any kind of substrate like Eco Earth in your tank, you have to make sure you change it out once a week. Or you can use paper towels, which you may not have to take out as much, but it is much harder to keep the tank humid if you don't have any moss or Eco Earth or anything at the bottom of the tank. Now, when it comes to what to feed them, it really depends on what stage of life they are in. Between their first and second molt, they should eat common fruit flies, also known as a melanogaster fly, I'm pretty sure. I'm really bad at these names, but that's what I remember it being called. It's like melanogaster, melanoma. If your loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, okay. We'll just call it a common fruit fly. Another thing you can look for is the size on the bottle. Any fruit fly that is 1/16 of an inch is good for them between their first and second molt. Between molt 3 and 4, they can have Heidi fruit flies. These guys are 1/8 of an inch, so they're about double the size, and that's going to be what is best for them nutritionally to continue to grow. After their 5th molt, they could have house flies, hover flies, blue bottle flies, butterflies, and moths. I think it's best to stick to these things rather than feeding them crickets because it can be risky, and there's no need to really be feeding them the lizards and stuff that they may catch in the wild because that's risky again for the mantis. The lizard could turn around and chomp the praying mantis's head off or whatever, so just stick to these things. And that's pretty much everything there is about the mantis. Yay, now you know. Now right now, like I showed you guys, she is in the little deli cup container, but I do have a bigger container for her to go into once she goes through her first few molts. I don't want to put her in there yet because she's still a little too small and could get lost in there or fall and hurt herself, but right now I'm actually keeping her little deli cup inside of that tank, and it really is holding the humidity amazingly. So I definitely recommend glass enclosures or the little deli cup with the mesh lid on the top, but just make sure you know a good way to keep up with the humidity or your orchid mantis will not live long. So that's the video, and I hope you enjoyed meeting Egg. I love Egg so much. She's the best egg in the world. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Something really important that I want to announce, promise I'll keep it short, is that there is something called Pet Fest that is coming up on August 11th of 2018. This is taking place in Ohio, and it is a free event for any of our fans to come meet all of the pet YouTubers in the community that are attending. It's gonna be me, Tyler Ruggie, Emma Sampson, Tori, Pug Pibble Hedgie. I can never say her name, I'm sorry, Tori. It's like a tongue twister. Pickles Pets, Emma Sampson, did I already say that? Maddie Smith, Lori Hart. I'm so bad at remembering everyone. I think that's it. That's everyone. I really hope that you guys come out and meet us because it's a free event. It takes place from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Mason Manor House. This is in Mason, Ohio, but no pets are allowed. There is a rescue that is coming to the event, and they're going to have some animal ambassadors with them. So there are animals to meet, but this is mostly to meet your favorite pet YouTubers. We don't want animals there because we don't want unnecessary stress, overheating, or clashing with another animal. We just don't know. We can't keep all the animals safe. So there will be animals at the event, but please do not bring your own animals. We cannot keep them all safe, so it's what's best. The event is free, but I do recommend you guys going to the poll in my link, or in my description. The poll in my description lets you answer whether you're coming or not and how many of you are coming. This is so we can prepare for you guys and aren't overwhelmed. We do not want TanaCon 2.0 to happen. We want everyone to be safe and happy and prepared, so we want to make sure we have the space for you guys. So if you are interested in going, please go to the poll and just say that you're going, and I will love to see you guys there. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I have so many amazing fun videos that I want to share with you guys, and I would love for you to be a part of the family. So please subscribe, leave a comment if you like Egg. Tell me how you feel about Egg. If you think she's a good egg, leave a comment. And yeah, subscribe. Thumbs up, not thumbs down. If you put a thumbs down, Egg will cry herself to sleep. So please leave a thumbs up and not a thumbs down. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.